How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. The entire crew is here, and today we're going to be talking about the fan adaptations in video games. And this is Jack's suggestion. We've been talking about this for a little bit, and basically, like some background into this. Before there were any good video game adaptations, before we entered this kind of golden age for them, most of the best fan adaptations rather were found through like fan-made films. Uncharted, the Machinima series for Halo, Machinima series for Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, stuff like that. So we're gonna go over and talk about those, and we're talking about which one we think is the best. So Jack, take it away, man. Go and give me some of the fan adaptations you asked us to watch.
Yeah,
Which
so
one was your favorite?
we had my favorite. I did like that Uncharted one you sent me. But Mortal Kombat Legacy is probably one of the best ones.
Right.
It's the reason why I wanted to do this topic is I kind of wanted to show that it didn't require a $200 million budget to make something good with a good story.
Yeah, I mean, some of it did. You had a lot of adaptations that bombed up into that point, and people, I think, at the time were kind of fed up with this mediocrity that gaming adaptations were kind of mired in at that point. And so we just kept seeing smaller projects pop up here and there. And I think Machinima, I don't know if their channel's gone or defunct, but Machinima kind of came out with like Mortal Kombat Legacy and really surprised people because they did actually have like known actors in it.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, from the 90s, some of them are not.
Like
Michael Jai White's
Spawn,
there. Love Michael Jai White. I know that. Who was it? He was in Starship Troopers. He's the main character, Casper Van Dien. He was in Starship Troopers and Sleepy Hollow, 90s, both great films. And he was Johnny Cage in the second season of Mortal Kombat. So, and I really feel like, I think that series did so well that it inspired to make the Mortal Kombat film. But I do believe that I would rather watch the Mortal Kombat Machinima series over that because I feel like, sometimes a 2-hour movie doesn't do it justice. I like the small digestible chunks of that, and I thought it was pretty good quality for a YouTube online series.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Brad, what did you watch? What did you watch all of them, or what do you remember?
I didn't. Yeah, so I did. So I didn't actually finish the Mortal Kombat Legacy just because there was like 87 hours of it. But I did watch all the other ones. The Street Fighter one was pretty cool. I mean, obviously, it's more of a trailer-esque.
There is an entire Street Fighter Legacy series. Really good, surprisingly. Even if Ken looks weird near them.
Yeah. So I, with the Halo one, right? I thought that one was actually pretty legit. Just kind of goes to show when
I think Bungie paid for that too.
Yeah. I mean, like obviously you could tell it was not a high budget, project.
What do they? They're not called the grunts. What are they? The big fucking apes. What are they called, dude?
Bigums.
The Bigums. I can't remember. They looked really funny, but
they did
until they hit somebody with a fucking hammer.
Yeah.
And smashed into the ground.
But it's like I didn't watch a lot of the Halo TV show, like the I guess the legit one.
Talk about that.
But yeah, exactly. I really feel like when you give these high profile
studios,
directors, create. I want to say creative people, right? I feel like they really try to milk all of the. They try to make everything special about every second of every show, and it just like sometimes you just need to have good action and just kind of stay true to, like, I'm not gonna say what fans want, but it's just like it's Halo. 90% of that game is just blowing stuff up and looking cool while you do it, and I really feel like the Halo video was just that. It was literally just warfare, and it looked like they were on a paintball range, but hey, that's what that's
Paintball Halo.
I would
They're on a
imagine.
multiplayer map. Slayer. Chibi, did you watch any of it?
I did. What do you mean? I literally watched all of them.
Last week
Fuck
when we
you.
asked, what did you say? I win again. No, I was kidding.
Dominated sandwich. Yeah, but I redeemed myself because I actually watched it. Fuck you. I mean, okay, so as somebody who I feel like is the outsider here, who like never really played Halo, never really played Street Fighter, never really played Mortal Kombat, I thought it was interesting. Like, I've seen, the more recent adaptations, and it's one of those where the budget's so high, like it looks cool, but I mean, it's nice to kind of see like different versions that are more so like low budget, like fan edits or things like that. I enjoyed the really short ones, like the fan made like trailers. I thought they were pretty good. Not gonna lie, the Street Fighter one, their Japanese is pretty decent. Like for the 10 seconds they spoke it, I was like, that was my one qualm about fucking what was the one?
Was it Mortal Kombat?
The Mortal Kombat one. I was like, no, this isn't bad. And then we got to that part and I was like, okay, we'll take it. We'll take it.
I think I put in the chat like the Uncharted one. And so I remember, so in 2018, a lot of people had fan casted. How was his name, dude? It's like he acted in The Rookie and Firefly and stuff like that.
Oh,
so they had
Nathan Fillion,
right? They had fan casted Nathan Fillion forever. Nathan Fillion is a fan of the Uncharted series.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Lang, who's best known for like Avatar and kind of being like that weird hard ass, right? Like he was like he was also fan casted. And then eventually, I think like an independent director said, "Hey, I want to do like just a small fan film just with you guys." I think it was like out in California and stuff like that. And I was like, "This is the best fan film I've ever seen." And people were really excited because Nathan Fillion, like his acting style, his mannerisms, and all the shows and movies he's been in, essentially nails Nathan Drake, and he looks like an older Nathan Drake. If you pull up right now, Nathan Drake Uncharted 4. And you pull up Nathan Fillion, there is a resemblance there.
I like how they both have Nathan.
Stephen Lang would have been a fucking better Sully than Mark Wahlberg. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you go,
I
don't know.
They do. He does look just like him, yeah.
And that was like, it was, a lot of people felt like it was going to be a bridge to something bigger, but I think this was obviously in response to like the announcement that Sony was going to make a live action Uncharted. And then the Uncharted film came out, and while it's a popcorn film, I'm not saying Tom Holland does a bad job, but to a lot of people, that is not the Nathan Drake a lot of people kind of think about. And then, but a lot of these just were like really well done during a time in which it felt like, to Brad's point, Hollywood and all these creatives were just trying to like milk something and make it something that it's not. Like Mortal Kombat is very simplistic. It was interesting because when the first Mortal Kombat came out, it was like, look, man, we have Outworld and then we have Earth. They're fighting. That's it, right? We're going to have a champion. We're moving the fuck on. The Mortal Kombat films are the same way. Like, it's just like Johnny Cage punching people in the nuts, Scorpion hitting you with a spear, that type of stuff. And it just felt like, that type of simplicity wasn't appreciated because you can't go in depth with certain stories. Now, granted, there have been like huge advancements in narrative, right, since then. Like some games, like Ghost of Tsushima, which is going to get an adaptation. It feels like
that's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's going to be directed by I think I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the one who directed John Wick. So you're going to have like, but what you're seeing essentially is directors not taking the audience for granted and not thinking that they're stupid and like single-minded. And that's basically how video game adaptations have worked forever, right? You see it in Resident Evil. You saw it in, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which was dog shit. You saw it in Street Fighter. I think it was like the Chun-Li one. They had a Chun-Li movie with Kristen Kirk in it, and it was awful. It's the worst acting I've ever seen. But it was like this continuous loop of really, really bad acting and really insulting plots. And we got to a point where like adaptations were like, oh, why would I look forward to a movie when I can watch Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter Legacy, that type of stuff? And, it's like getting past that the CG being kind of just okay, you know, watching someone block a Hadoken fireball just like with their arm, like that type of shit. But there's a whole thing where like Bungie, just on their trailers alone, were creating so much hype, and people were like, why can't we make a movie like that? Right? So you had the Halo, like I think that was for Halo 3 or Halo 4. Jack, do you remember? It was 3. Yeah. Does anyone remember the Halo Reach trailer? That is quite possibly the greatest video game trailer of all time. If you have not seen it, Halo Reach is just like, it is insanely well done. And I was like, oh no, Halo ODST. I'm sorry, Halo 3 ODST. Like, it is insane how good like ODST and Reach are. Like, the ODST trailer brings you through like an orbital drop shot trooper, and we were like, dude, is this like a fucking movie? Like, people got really excited.
Is it the 2022 one?
No, that's for like the series. It just, you can just type in Halo 3 ODST trailer, and then it went from that to like pushing over to like Halo Forward Until Dawn, or Forward Unto Dawn. I can't remember what it is, but that was also Machinima. Until Dawn, right? Yeah. That was a really good fan-made film, essentially, where like it was like a like an offset story about like Master Chief only appears at the end, but it's like USNC soldiers or whatever, like in like recruits. And I was like, oh, this is really well done for like something that's like an hour 30 minutes and, you know, isn't kind of trying to bounce around right into too many locations. And to Brad's point, it was just simple. It was just to the point. And Paramount decided to release Halo, which, and its major issue was, and to the you know, the developers' credit, the showrunners' credit, they stated out loud that, look, this is going to be an entirely different like universe. This is set in a different timeline. They call it the Silver Timeline, right? So it's not in the video game Halo universe. The problem is they butchered every character that was associated, right? They made Master Chief a joke. He made some really stupid decisions, like he sleeps with like some random terrorist alien, and it's like, I'm like, he wouldn't do that. They kept taking off his helmet. I'm like, no, that's who Master Chief is. Like, it's like Spider-Man sometimes, right? You don't have to take his helmet off. And they just kept doing it. So it was like, we got to a point where I think, Jack, we were like thinking about like, okay, so when do we get to good video game adaptations? Like, why is it so hard for Hollywood to get there? What do you think took so long, dude, honestly?
Because they didn't involve like true fans of the work and games. I think, you know, the people that did these fan-made films are exactly that, fans. They're people that know the stories. They know the characters. They know what to include, what not to include, what not to do, stuff like that.
Right. Brad, what about you? What do you think took so long? They needed to make a Mario 2. Honestly, they messed up.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, so so I think it's because a lot of these IPs are big money makers in the video game space, right? You typically don't see random games being adapted, right? It's the big ones. So these large studios are going to get big people to work on it, and I feel like a lot of those people feel like they can make better stories than what made those stories great. And
Crazy.
when you create something from something that's already been established, and it's like, oh, well, you like this, well, then you're definitely going to like this because it's got the name of it. And it's like, no, that's I didn't like that at all because it was nothing like what the other thing was.
It has Mario. It has Luigi. I think that's Bowser. I don't know if that's King Koopa. Like,
They said, why don't you like it?
And I think it took 8 or 9 tries before they're like, all right, let's actually try to make something that resembles what they enjoyed in the first place.
I think like you taking, you know, some type of creative like push away from like what made the series great. That's fine, right? Like I can accept that. But like with Resident Evil, what bothered me the most is that like they made it into something it completely was not. They took like a character, and in the first movie they kind of like just sprinkled in like the Spencer Mansion, and then it was like, who the fuck is Alice and why do I care about her? And it's like, I don't know, she's kind of badass though. And then they made an entire movie about her, And like the first film was successful enough to spawn a second film, and in that second film it was like, let's throw in some characters from the game but not have them play prominent roles, and let's have some really bad makeup. And it was like, and then the third film was like randomly in the desert, and then the fourth film was like, we're on a ship somewhere. It just kept getting fucking weirder and weirder and weirder. And I appreciate like them finally owning up and just like accepting it, but it's like at that point in time, I think a lot of us, especially myself, was like, I don't know if they're ever going to make a good video game adaptation or ever take it seriously. And then somehow they made like a little movie called Werewolves Within. So for those who don't know, that's a VR game by Ubisoft in which you pretty much just like, everyone's just sitting around and chatting and you're figuring out who the werewolf is, right?
Oh,
and then
I've played that game before.
yeah. And they made a movie about it and it was fantastic. I was like, this is surprisingly really good. And then we started to hit like a string of really good movies. You had Sonic the Hedgehog, which, I mean, they got bullied to remodeling Sonic because he looked like
he looked
your
horrible.
nightmare. He looked like your nightmares when you close your eyes. But I think it's been hit or miss still. Like, I think you've had a string of good movies and shows. Like, I still think The Last of Us is one of the best adaptations. I'm really looking forward to season 2. And then it's like you had Uncharted, and I felt like I don't know how Sony fucked that up, because I'm like, Sony, like, you can just cast Nathan Fillion. Like, people are showing you what to do. Your vision may not be as good. And I'm kind of worried about Ghost of Tsushima because, I mean, the game itself is a fantastic story. It's very simple. It's a story about revenge, right? Yeah. Like, I want them to cast the actor for Jin Sakai because he modeled everything. You have him right there. And then just kind of move on. Like,
it's going to be Jackie Chan.
It's going to be Jackie Chan. Somehow we're going to cast a Chinese guy in a traditional Japanese role. Somehow we're going to mess this up. But no, I really feel like we've hit a point where it's like that high point. It's like Marvel, right? How many bad comic book adaptations did we get, dude? Before we finally got Blade, and people were like, Blade saved Marvel, which is true. It did save the Marvel films. And then we're like, holy shit, Wesley Snipes is the man. But like, it felt like they put out Fantastic Four, dog shit. Fantastic Four 2, dog shit. It's just like they kept putting out bad films, then they finally hit it with the MCU. And so I think like with video games, you're kind of waiting for like a little bit better consistency. But it felt at the time, video game adaptations or fan adaptations were where that consistency was at. So Chibi, you didn't play any of these games, right? Like, what was like, were you kind of surprised that people were this enthusiastic about making these adaptations, especially Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, that type of stuff?
I feel like I'm not surprised. I feel like, especially like if you don't have, I don't want to say quality content coming out, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're not satisfied with what people are putting out, especially like big Hollywood, I could see people taking it upon themselves to make like their own renditions. And I feel like that for anything people like, they try to make content out of it. So not really surprised. I thought it was cool. I really thought at least the quality for like the fan made ones were really well done. Like even the editing, I didn't think it was too bad. So more so surprised that the quality was pretty up there for even it being like a trailer and stuff.
I'm just kind of surprised that they got some of the bigger B movie actors. Like Michael Jai White is, he's a known commodity. Like that dude's been around for a long time.
I was gonna say, and while I was watching it, there, like, I'm not good with names, but I was like, oh, I know that person. Oh, I know that person. So it's like, it's interesting that, like you said, they were actually able to get some bigger names in it.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of, like, Brad, you know who Michael Jai White is, right? Like he's like a really well-known martial artist. Like, he was in Spawn. He's in like Kickbox. I think not Kickboxer. It was Undisputed. I think it was, or it was the movie. There was like a film where like I think it was like Undisputed 2 or something like that. But yeah, he's a known martial artist, and like I was like, oh shit, they got Michael.
He was in the Toxic Avenger too.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger. He was in a Black Dynamite, dude. He was Black Dynamite. Oh, dude, that fucking.
Oh yeah, Undisputed 2, Black Dynamite, Arrow, The Dark Knight.
Yeah. He was in Dark Knight for about 15 minutes before he got a pencil through the head. No, was it a pencil or not? Either the pencil or he got stabbed in the throat. I can't remember. The Joker killed him.
Arrow.
Yeah, he was White Tiger, I think.
Bronze Tiger.
Bronze Tiger, sorry. I was thinking about fucking Daredevil. because Daredevil has a white tiger. But no, it's interesting because I thought like that was it, because I remember like there were questions about like certain properties like Power Rangers, right? We're ever going to get like an adult film, and then Adi Shankar, who eventually created the Castlevania series, he made the rated R Power Rangers, which was like a fantastic take. He also made like a Venom short film. I just feel like when you don't have to have that much pressure on you by a major studio, and Brad brought that up, like maybe you're allowed to kind of like get creative and, you know, see a lot of cool shit, right?
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, that's all I'm saying. Like, I just feel like that's the sweet spot right now.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I agree with you, and I didn't think about that, but the pressure is probably high, especially like when they have certain expectations and it's like you need to make a profit. So like for the Uncharted one, I could see them, you know, wanting maybe a more like prolific actor, quote unquote. So that's why they got Tom Holland. He's up and coming. He's young. He's, you know, hungry. Like people gravitate towards that.
Why
even
not
though
Timothée Chalamet?
I mean that too. I mean, probably
Chalamet.
Chalamet. But like, you know, so I could see that, you know, reasoning despite
Chris
a lot
Pratt.
of the fan base saying Chris Pratt, you know, wanting to go in the other direction. So it sucks, but
Please never cast Chris Pratt in anything. That'd be great.
we are anti Chris Pratt.
There's just too much.
No, I am anti Chris Pratt.
Overexposed. I mean, he was great in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's great as
Oh,
Star-Lord, but
I just don't like him as a person. I think he's trash.
No. I don't need him in Super Mario Brothers. Like, they made like a big deal, but I was like, I don't care. We could have casted Charlie Day as both Mario and Luigi.
I love Charlie Day, bro.
Yeah, they kind of did him dirty because Luigi was only in the movie for like 15 minutes.
Oof.
I'm just, I just think that like, it only takes like one decent film for them to like finally realize like we don't have to insult our audience anymore.
Yeah.
And that's basically been like the biggest problem with Hollywood. And obviously it's not just video games, but it just felt like Mortal Kombat, when it first came out in the 90s, I was like, this is just a fun film. Like, I'm not thinking too much about it, right? Whatever. And then Annihilation comes out and I'm like, what did we do? What the fuck did you guys just do? Right? And it was just like, they just had bad adaptation after bad adaptation. They had like, it was the Mario Brothers, but regardless how much Brad likes it. Then you had Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Then you had Double Dragon. It's a cult classic. It's got John Leguizamo in it as Luigi, and Mario. But they just kept going down this line of like using the name and maybe a location or two, and then never really committing. Like even the Silent Hill films, like that's great. Like, but Silent Hill has like a really compelling story, and they cheesed it the fuck up and made it this really bad film. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing here? And I was just waiting to see like if eventually we were going to hit that point where video games became so popular and so lucrative that Hollywood could not just let it go. And they haven't, which is why Nintendo has like a bunch of properties ready to be adapted. First it's Mario, then it's Zelda. Yeah, well, I mean, Zelda's live action. That one I'm kind of like, what is Timothée Chalamet going to do in that? What is Link going to say? Like, he doesn't say anything. He's like, yeah. That's it. There's nothing about it. So are we changing him from a silent protagonist to a voiced one? Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think it should. I honestly think it should get the Mario treatment versus a live adaptation. There's just, once again, and another thing is they try to make fantasy video games into like a reality,
Please
like
stop
like a physical, and like trying to make it like a human realistic scenario. And it's just like ew, like don't do that. Like some things like really should be fantastical.
Or they butcher it and they go Borderlands and they make a rated R property, a mature property, into a PG-13 shit fest. Like,
yeah.
I also like, why not make TV series? I've always felt like video games were meant for long form series. That's why I think Mortal Kombat Legacy works so well. I got 2 seasons worth of like build up of getting into that tournament and them fighting for Earth and shit like that. Same thing with Street Fighter. Like, the entire thing about Street Fighter is that you have like 2 characters going on this journey, end up fighting Akuma, that type of stuff. Like, all that made sense. Same thing with Halo, but like, I mean, they botched it by trying to make their own thing, but they didn't fuck up The Last of Us. They, Uncharted was I guess you could do like Hollywood-esque films for those, but I mean, that movie kind of felt insulting with the way they were like showing everything. Like it just felt like a cheap Indiana Jones knockoff, right? If you never watched Uncharted, you're like, Tom Holland is Tom Holland.
So
who,
yeah,
who is Mark Wahlberg playing?
I will
besides
say,
himself?
yeah, I will say they're like, let's just get big names and let's make the movie. I will say, like the big action sequences, like they were true to,
Fantastic. Yeah.
Uncharted, but it's like, but once again, like you're making that, like you're swinging ships in the air and like
We were you were so
completely.
mad about that. You were so
I'm
mad.
just like, none of this please make any of this make sense.
Yeah,
It's not how any of this would work.
It's just fantastical for the sake of being fantastical, right? We're talking about entertainment value, but it was kind of insulting also, right? But we've said this for like years. You've had stories you could tell that would not insult people as long as you told them the right way, right? Like it's not hard. The only issue with like something like Super Mario was that it felt like you were just kind of throwing, it was like an amalgamation of different stories and story elements and then kind of thrown in there, and just, it was a fun movie, but ultimately it's not, there's no substance really. And then Sonic somehow has created 3 successful films and a successful series of Knuckles. Like they've actually nailed Sonic, which is shocking because I just watched the 3rd film and I was like, this is fucking awesome.
I think it would have been cooler if they would have made Sonic live action. Like if they would have had like a person in a suit. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I was gonna be like, an
Like a
actual
little
echidna. They got like a little echidna. Now get out there. It's like, but he's small. Like what the fuck? It's like, this is like the '90s dinosaurs and stuff like that. Brad, back in the day, they're real, Mom. I told you, they're real dinosaurs. Like Brad, they're all dead. No.
It's looking more like Homeward Bound. It's just
Oh yeah.
the mouse don't even move or anything. They're just on screen.
The dogs don't really bark or talk. They're just like, they're thinking it, so they're all telepathically like communicating with one another. That's basically what that was. Like, and the Mario Brothers, why couldn't they get really short Italian plumbers? Like, why can't we be true to the story? It's just weird that we went from like hoping for hoping for like real good video game adaptations to eventually getting fans getting fed up and saying we'll do it ourselves, and them doing a better job. And like the criticism of like all these like big Hollywood films was like loud and very angry. And then I remember when I rewatched Uncharted, I looked through the comments and they're like, who's here after seeing that trailer? Like, what the fuck did we do? Like, how are we letting this go? Why is Mark Wahlberg playing himself as Sully? That type of stuff. Because I mean, like, I do think that's funny, Brad. The 2 ships like hanging there. Brad's like, what's the physics on this? Like, is this ship not falling apart? This thing is what? How old was it? It was it's like 600 years old or something like that. Like, how are we not? How are you airlifting it so perfectly? I was so confused at that too. I was like, how did you guys get that out of there so naturally? That was insane.
Practiced it a lot.
I know. How often did you practice this scenario when you probably saw it for the first time? First off, whatever you're paying those pilots is nearly not enough money. They better get like 75% of the money because they just pulled off the coolest fucking move. But that's what it was. Like, I remember when Doom felt like a fan film, the only draw to it was like The Rock and a very young Carl Urban at the time, because everyone's like, who the fuck is Carl Urban? Where's this dude from? And then The Rock was in it, and like he had one very like popular line. He was like Semper Fi, motherfucker. And then for some reason he became a bad guy. I don't know. I was like, this was weird. How did we end up here? And then we just kept getting like really bad adaptation stuff, that like House of the Dead. Don't ever watch that. If you've ever heard of Uwe Boll, he might be the worst director ever. And I think he had like a string of films. He made an Alone in the Dark movie. I think at the time, before, when Rotten Tomatoes just came out, it was the first movie to get like a dubious 0%. Like, oh, it's like 0% critic, and I think it's literally like 2 to 3% fan as well.
shit.
It's a unanimously bad movie. I think Christian Slater, before he eventually made a comeback with like Mr. Robot, like that killed his career. like Christian Slater was big in the 90s, dude. He was like in John Travolta films. He was on these action movies. He was in these dramas. He made Alone in the Dark, and it was like, dude, bye. Your career is over, big dog. But we're here now, right? So I wonder if we're going to continuously still get fan-made stuff.
Well, I'm interested in seeing if we're going to see a spike in like AI generated films.
You know, yeah, that's a good point because that one that you linked to, I thought was pretty interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was AI until I read it, and then I was like, why are they breathing weird like that?
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? And I was like, oh shit, this is AI.
It feels like some of the AI stuff is pretty on the nose, like bad. Like you could tell it's like a little bit too exaggerated in terms of art because AI is pulling from different, you know, aggregate data centers. So it's like, okay, this is not great, you know, but like I wouldn't be surprised if we do get to see more AI stuff. They did some AI Harry Potter stuff, which I thought was like, they did like if Harry Potter was made in like the 90s. It was very interesting, like the casting and stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, it's just like the anime stuff, GB, like the live action anime stuff, which has been like an absolute bust at times. Some of the fan stuff has been really good, like the very short film stuff. They did one with a bunch of stunt actors did like My Hero Academia, but it was just like going to what's the school called? Shit, is it UH High or something? UA High. And so they were showcasing like different quirks. Like this guy could like he could throw his bag, or he could teleport to anything he touched. So like he would throw his bag and teleport during a fight, and it was so well done. And this guy's like a known stunt coordinator. His name's Guy De Silva. Fantastic. I was like, oh, this is really good.
Dan, you gotta link that. That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll send it to you. But like, I felt like
that's it.
You're gonna have mediums like that just haven't broken through yet in live action. Like anime was just, it's been pretty. Every almost anime adaptation has been pretty bad, except for like Death Note, something grounded. Yeah, they've been pretty good. Death Note, and you know, I want to eat your pancreas, that type of stuff. Thumbs up.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
But like, you know, it's weird that they try to take fantastical series and then try to make it live action. And to Brad's point, like that's kind of the big problem is that like, dude, why not just make it normal? Like a Minecraft movie. I don't know, man.
Dude, I saw the trailer for that. I was like, what the fuck?
I want people's thoughts on that too. Like, did you guys see the Minecraft trailer? Outside of me,
I don't know how to feel.
I saw the trailer.
So I really want to see the pitch for that. It was like, hey, let's get Jack Black and just some other like.
Oh my god, what's his name?
I'm not gonna say
Jason Momoa.
Jason Samosa, and it's like, hey, let's get one loud personality and let's get another loud personality and let's just make something obnoxious and slap one of the largest, you know, community project things in it and just call it a day and make everything square except for those characters.
Does anyone know what like the dislikes are on that?
I haven't seen or heard of any.
Yeah. Have you seen the Minecraft trailer though, Jack?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, it's catered toward kids. I won't deny.
Yeah.
But that person was high when they made that. That person was like that person hit the blunt, took like an edible, and just laid on the ground looking up at the stars and said to themselves, "I want to make a Minecraft movie with Shaq Black as I think."
I mean, I feel like you have to make a live action like that.
And it's weird because they have had stories with Minecraft, and once again, I don't know what the story of the movie is, so it might be somewhat similar, or you know.
Oh, you mean like Telltale's Minecraft series?
The Telltale's like there was a Netflix I think it was like a choose your adventure type thing, like it was like an interactive movie type thing, and then obviously you had the other Minecraft games, Legends, and the other one I don't remember what it was.
The Minecrafts.
The Diablo one, and then the RTS one.
Yeah, you couldn't tell me that Minecraft doesn't look like a fan made film. Like seriously, like this person got really high, had a lot of money, and said, "Dude, Jack Black, Jason Momoa, do you guys want to make a movie with me?" Well,
the thing is like Minecraft is so low quality, like, and in itself. Like you can't make it not look fan made
First
because
off, how dare you talk about Minecraft RTX like that? That shit is
I-
amazing looking.
okay, well, okay, so you can make it look good, but you run it at 4 FPS on the freaking quantum
Yeah,
computing from
you're
NASA.
overheating your GPU at that point.
on that 5090, baby. No, it's I just remember looking at it and going like, what's the point, right? I felt the same way about the Borderlands time. I was just waiting for Jack to be like, so I'm looking forward to this.
My thoughts on the Minecraft movies, I think it's gonna do well, primarily because the community is largely kids. There are still a lot of adults who
Or
play Minecraft.
50-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
But
don't you play Minecraft? Don't you have like
I
an
played
RP
it, yeah.
server?
RP server? No, not an RP one. Although
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
baby.
It may be. You could probably do RP in Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you could.
I'm a creeper.
I just remember like one of the better fan adaptations that we haven't talked about also. Oh wait, Chibi, what'd you think about the film? Did you, or what'd you think
Which
about the
film?
trailer? No, it was, Minecraft. What'd you think about the trailer?
I thought it was okay. I don't think I'm gonna like how Jason Momoa portrays the character because in the film or in the trailer, I was already annoyed with how he was acting. Like I think Brad put it a good way. Like a very loud personality. Like I don't know. It just
He
was
doesn't
weird.
have good range.
Yeah.
That's kind of been his issue. I mean, he doesn't have to have range in this, right? But like, if you ever watch like any Jason Momoa property, I think there was one show called C on Apple, and I thought he did okay. But for the most part, Jason Momoa is Jason Momoa in every movie he's
Yeah.
ever been in.
Yeah.
And shout out to him for making an entire like career out of it. I'm completely down with that. He seems like a really chill dude.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm just like, all right, dude, you're Jason Momoa, but who are you playing? Like, what is the
Yeah. Like
what
what's
is the purpose of this film?
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I'll still see it. I'll still watch it, give it a shot, but I don't know. It looked. I think it's like a cash grab, honestly. Like,
I think
just
that
another
I think
plot.
the best fan adaptation though, besides Uncharted, I was going to bring this up, was Red versus Blue.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Red versus so like before Rooster Teeth just like fell apart and fell into the shitter and just like was making a lot of bad stuff. Red versus Blue, I thought was fantastic. They were essentially just making like their own
They're like comedy skits.
spin-off. Yeah, it was a comedy skit that like spun off into full-on seasons and productions.
Mm.
Like I think like it was like season 3 or 4 they started to have like a cohesive story, and then I think it went all the way into like season 20. And it went from like just taking the animations from the game with different skits to like full on real animations where they were beating the absolute shit out of each other. And they made like a Forerunner saga, all this stuff. I was like, what just happened to this? Like, why is this so
Yeah.
good? Like,
They recently bought back Rooster Teeth.
oh, was
the
it
main
Bernie?
guy.
Bernie?
Yeah, one of the guys bought it back from whatever studio or whatever entity bought them.
It was Universal, I think. I remember when they bought Rooster Teeth, they were just like, we need you to just make like commercial stuff. And it felt everything they put out after that felt soulless. And then, it eventually fell apart as it usually does when a major entity purchases like an independent company and then runs it into the ground. That's what EA does, That's
My favorite fan stuff is Team 4-Star.
yes, dude. Yes. Every Dragon Ball Z abridged is fucking amazing, dude.
Dude,
Anything with Vegeta is like phenomenal. Who the fuck is he? That's you. He's like, I'll kill me.
Demon Slayer abridged is pretty funny too.
Yeah, the creativity by fans is like insane. So there's a thing right now that I'm like, I laugh so hard. It's on TikTok. It's a huge trend. It's called Bronify. It's LeBron James. It's all about LeBron James and the remixes of famous songs, like 90s, 80s power ballads made into LeBron James fan songs, and they're all good. Like they're all really creative. They have like 2000 stuff. They have like stuff from like CeeLo Green. They have stuff from like Bruno Mars. All of it's great. I mean, the point of it is like I think like if you push fans far enough, they will make stuff better than what's established. The unfortunate part is they just don't make enough money off of it, right? Because like Machinima, I think they had Red versus Blue, and then it went to Rooster Teeth, and then it was a joint production, and then it was like, you know, some Halo stuff, and then it was Mortal Kombat, and then Street Fighter, and it was like, dude, keep it up, right? But like I could only assume the cost of it was just really high, right? And then, you know, especially because eventually like to gather a bigger audience, you do want some known names.
Yeah.
I assume that had to be really difficult for a lot of people. But I remember they used to make like Minecraft skits that were like really funny and really creative. I do think like when you adapt it into a film, some of that creativity goes away unless you're looking at the Minecraft trailer. You're like, what the okay, sure. You know, this is that person who's, you know, on Adderall or something. Who's hit. Listen, you might have a good time if you just hit an edible and watch it.
Well,
If this Minecraft video or movie does do well, I am excited for the Fortnite movie that will come in a few years.
Ninja's going to be the main character, right? Like,
yeah, right.
is that a person? Is he still a thing?
Yeah,
He still is, but
all
not
those
with the blue hair.
all the streamers get sucked in the Fortnite universe, and they like actually have to survive.
I
Yeah,
do not.
can
I
see
do
it.
not want to watch streamers act. Maybe with the exception of like Markiplier, he had like a series on Amazon that I think he did a really good job in.
The Meow Meow, the cats with the big
No.
lips. That was the weirdest.
No, he did like an actual like horror series on Amazon that he wrote. He wrote.
It was something in space. He's actually doing a adaptation of Iron Lung, which is like a horror submarine
Very
thing.
dark, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like the range for it. I think he did a pretty good job. But like, I do not need a Fortnite thing. I do not need like random people that I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
I just don't need them screaming the entire time. Everything looking forced, right? I mean, I could pay $20 million for a Hollywood actor to do that, dude. Just have Jason Momoa screaming.
I mean, I guess they kind of had that with what was that Gerard Butler movie? Gamer? Yeah.
Ah, Jesus, bro. That was fucking brutal, man.
It was.
The violence was really good,
Yeah.
you know. But didn't like the guy who played Dexter, Michael C. Early, is that was his name? I can't remember his name. Damn it. But the main character, the guy who played Dexter in the series, like he did a pretty good job of being like a psychopath. But like I was like, what is this about, dude? Gerard Butler has never played a video game. Why are we casting the King Leonidas?
Well, they had to
as
make
a
it.
gamer?
They had to make it make sense that he was going to survive like a battle royale for 30 rounds. Or
Yeah, he
whatever.
would. I mean,
And
shit,
then-
he's the dude. Gerard Butler back then was ripped, man. That's a jack dude. It's so weird because like his career went from like he's done like maybe one or two things that's been positively rated. He's a good actor, but it's just like, dude, the paycheck, right? That'd be my mindset. I'm sorry, dude. Like I was like, what's that paycheck looking like?
What was the Citizen one?
Law-abiding
Arrest.
citizen.
Dude,
I
love
Citizens Arrest, brother, chill.
I was
Right?
thinking.
Dude, that movie, that was the movie that I was like, all right, he's pretty dope. And then I watched him in. It was one of those like national or like natural disaster. He like was on a space station. Geostorm.
Geostorm.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Dude, what was
Why
that
isn't
one
this a
movie?
movie?
But now we're talking about that. What was that one movie? Moonfall. Was it Moonfall? Have you guys seen that one? It had Patrick Wilson in it from he's from the Conjuring series, and he was also in Aquaman. It's kind of like moon. It had like Halle Berry in it, dude. It was like the moon literally was like like about to hit Earth, and like I was like, why would Patrick Wilson agree to this, dude? You're a really good actor, man. That paycheck must be hidden. I'm not gonna lie. If you hit me with $20 million, I might make whatever the fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack's like, he's like, I would never do that. It's like you don't want this like Jack. We want you to play a zombie, and this zombie is gonna be very short, and you're gonna be chasing around people. It's like I can't do that. I have respect for my craft. Here's $20 million. When do we shoot?
Yeah, exactly.
Point me in the makeup trailer, please. I need to get into character. Just start method acting so you
Right.
just be a huge asshole.
Now, along the lines of like low budget and still supersedes like some of the big name productions out there, movies out there. It's not a game adaptation, but I saw news recently that a guy that used Blender to make an animated film, which Blender is an open source tool software,
Mhm.
um, won an Oscar and won over Inside Out 2.
Which one was that?
I don't know. I
What
don't
was?
remember the name of the film.
I do know. So I watch a lot of Corridor Digital stuff because they break down a lot of CG stuff. And there was a guy who did use Blender, but like when he was showing it, it was like it was a futuristic like cyberpunk
No, this
kind
one had a bunch of animals in it.
of animals. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know then. Well, it wasn't straight. You weren't playing
Land
straight,
before
were
time.
you?
Stray? No, it
You weren't
wasn't
playing
Stray.
straight. You're like cat.
Although Stray should win some Oscars if it ever became a movie.
Jack got his numbers made up. It's okay, Grandpa. Let's take him to bed, guys. Like, no, the cat's getting hurt in the background. They killed the little robot. That's Jack was sad. Jack was sad during that.
I was
you know what
sad
mean?
about that.
I mean, but like, I really think that every time I see like a low budget like video game adaptation, I'm like, dude, you can tell that some people are gonna work their ass off. Like, I will forgive any type of jank if it's like of a certain quality. I feel like you're trying your hardest and it looks like really good. I'm cool. I'm totally cool with that. Like, I was blown away by like some of the stuff Bungie put out, just like to literally showcase like why would you have like something to promote like a Halo game? Like, why would you have something live action? A lot of people who see it like, why the fuck can't I have that in a movie or a TV series?
I'm not gonna lie. I watched that while you were talking about it. That shit looked crazy.
ODST?
good. Oh, I got
am-
goosebumps.
I'm a massive fan of like Halo 3 ODST. Like, I love that game. When they first showed that trailer, and then I think they're speaking Polish,
Mhm.
and they're like, you see the scar on his face and shit.
Yeah.
Like, that looked fucking crazy.
Mhm.
And it showed them like drop, like, because like the ODST have like such a crazy background. They're essentially just like recon troops, and they send them like pretty much 20 to 30 miles behind enemy lines, and they just drop them straight down and say, go fuck
shit.
stuff up. And they fight alongside the Spartans. Like, there's so much lore in Halo
Mhm.
that like the anime adaptation that they had, which told like I think like 7 to 8 different stories on it. Great, loved it. It went from like really comedic stuff to like really darkly serious. But like Bungie nailed it with like all of their like little fan films that they made, you know, for promotional. ODST was great. Reach was great. I think they made one for Halo 4. I know they made one for like Halo 5, which like, you know, people don't really want to talk about Halo 5, but all of it's been like high quality. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we not have that type of consistency across the board is beyond me. Right? Because like some of these people have extended what would be like a 2 to 3 minute trailer into an entire series, and it was well written, well acted. Everyone seemed really committed to it. But then you get like a Hollywood adaptation, you get Halo, and like that looked cheap. Like there were action in the Halo series that looked way cheaper than anything you saw out of the Bungie stuff. Like plastic. It was bad. Like the CG was not good. It was very like the brutes. That's what they're called, Brad. The brutes. That the big apes. Yeah, the brutes looked better in that Bungie short than they did in the actual TV series. That was frustrating. I was like, "What are we doing, guys?" You know. And even with like the Mortal Kombat stuff, I felt like there was a harder push for some of the fatalities than it was in some of the adaptations. Right. I mean, the earlier ones were PG-13. Right. They were fine. But like the movie, the one that came out in 2000, I was like, or 2020, I think I was like, okay, I like the fatalities, but the rest of the movie doesn't make any sense. It's just like zooming along. But I still don't understand like why they want to like focus on an original character. I don't know if that's me being a dick, Jack, but it's like, why is there this emphasis on like having an original character in a set universe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm confused when
So
they do it.
so the audience can relate more with an unknown entity, just to piss off the original audience.
That's actually a good response. You had me in the first half, dude. You're so serious. It's like, I hate you, and I want you to suffer through this fucking trash ass adaptation the entire time.
It's because the writers were like, we didn't create this character, so we're not going to use them. We got to make our own. And that's kind of that was kind of my points from the beginning. It's like they see something that they didn't create, and they need to have that creative control. Which once again, I do believe you should be given a lot of creative freedom
Right.
when you're creating your own projects. But it's like when you are using an established universe, world, characters, et cetera, et cetera. It's like
Respect the established.
like
universe.
like leverage what's already there to make everyone happy.
Like to this day though, I still don't understand why that's so hard. Like I feel like it's like a bridge too far, I guess is the best way to describe it. We're like, well, yeah, I know that you guys want this, but we've never watched it or some shit. There was a movie that did that where they were like, we've never seen this series, or we don't want to talk about it. I'm like, no, you have to talk about it, because like people are going to have expectations, and you want to meet those expectations and exceed them. You don't want to underwhelm your audience, because remember, your core audience is going to be gamers. Like, it's going to be people who've watched this stuff, right? It's like the Tomb Raider stuff. The Tomb Raider, like, it was pretty much like Angelina Jolie or nothing, and then I can't remember the other girl's name who was in Tomb Raider. I'm like, okay, great. Like, this is just average, you know? Like, you're it's just insulting to the audience. Like, it's really weird to think that we're all stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the first like D&D movie that they made in the 90s, not a great film, right? But still kind of has like some okay moments. But the new D&D film is like absolutely fantastic. Like, it respected its core audience, and it did all the right things.
Yeah, they added some element. So from playing D&D, it's like they added a few little nods to like someone who would be playing D&D. It's like that's something that a party would do, even though it doesn't make sense in the like when they were trying to speak to the dead, right? And he kept asking questions that didn't pertain to the actual questions he was trying to ask. It's like that's something that would happen in a scenario.
You have 5 questions. Like, is that my 5th one? Spare him. just let him go. Yeah, I really like this topic. I really wanted to kind of bridge it more to like just fan adaptations in general, because I feel like you get kind of a higher quality, at times. I'm just waiting for like better consistency, like that moment where like we're not just saying it's a cash cow. Like, I do have concerns about Zelda, right? And I have seen some like comedic like short films about Zelda, which were really funny. It's just pretty much him just breaking pots, because that's what he does.
Throwing chickens.
Yeah, throwing chickens and stuff. Absolutely. Right. But you also have like what Secret Level was doing, which I thought was really interesting, but it was inconsistent in terms of quality. It's one of those things where I'm like, we're gonna eventually get like a Warhammer, because I've seen like some of the other Warhammer adaptations like that they've put out that through Blender and stuff like that. Amazing. Like, fantastic stuff. You have to ask yourself at some point, like, dude, how are we missing the boat so much? How are Hollywood creatives, guys who are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to write these, millions of dollars to act, put people on location? Like, dude, the Borderlands film has to be probably like the biggest stain on video games for a very long time. Like, it was just disgustingly bad.
I can guarantee the people that were involved in filming that probably had never played it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you never touched the game before, but like with The Last of Us, right? I think most of the cast has played The Last of Us, so they know who the characters are. Plus, it's pretty easy to adapt that game series because it itself is very cinematic. When you're looking at certain things, like even Halo, you could have easily done any story you wanted. Reach would have been the preferable one, because Reach tells a really compelling story about the fall of like this massive human base to the Covenant. It's the first time the Covenant actually invade, and then their reaction to it. Because when you first play Halo, the Covenant are already an established threat, but when you play Reach, like, which was like after Halo 3, you get to learn like people's reactions to seeing and engaging with the Covenant for the first time. So the comedic aspect of it is gone. It's more like darkly serious, because you're playing an entire team of Spartans who are gonna die, and they're gonna die. You're just watching that story unfold. And I was like, dude, adapt that. Give me that on live action, dude. Instead, you give me like this weird like silver timeline, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, look how successful Witcher was with Henry Cavill.
Yeah, until they like straight up said they hated it. I mean, it's kind of weird, because like The Witcher, I don't think people understand how much CD Projekt Red made The Witcher better, because the actual Polish novels they're adapted from, they're not that good. And then CD Projekt Red goes, fuck off, we're gonna make like our own original like stories and stuff, and they do an amazing job. And I think me and Brad talked about this, like The Witcher 1, not good gameplay in the slightest. Good game, good story, great character, Geralt. Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings, the gameplay's okay. Great fucking story. Witcher 3, like they all put it together, right? Has one of the best main narratives, should be a slam dunk. Just adapt what you see. If you want to make certain adjustments to kind of keep players and fans of the series on edge, 100% do it. I'm okay with that. But don't insult our intelligence, And if it needs to be simple, like Resident Evil, brother, I see zombies. I just want to see zombie chase human. Is that bad? Am I wrong? Like, that's all I want to see. Silent, like, Jack, they went from like trying to introduce Silent Hill, right? Just do Silent Hill 2. Tell James Sunderland's story. Just tell their story. Like Borderlands could have been a fucking animated TV series. I think we all have been fine.
Yeah.
I think
I will say Silent Hill made the executioner look badass.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Love that. But like, I just don't understand. Like, and sometimes they actually get like the actual location and setting right, and it's just the story's not good.
Yeah.
It's like, we wanted to call all this stuff up because we thought people wouldn't like it. Like, no, dude, we like all that fucked up stuff. That's why we play the game. Weren't people upset about like the Five Nights at Freddy's? Like, I've heard it wasn't like a good adaptation. I heard it was just okay. Like, it was PG-13.
Yeah, I've heard good things about. I've heard good things about the movie itself, but from the aspect of the game, which, once again, that's one of those games where it's like all cryptic and you can find 17,000 different lore theory behind the curtain, conspiracy theory type things, and it's like, all right, I'm just not gonna care.
Shout out to Scooby, or Shaggy rather. Shout out to Shaggy for being in the movie. Good big ups to Matthew Lillard. I'm just curious to see how if we continue to get consistency, or do we hit a wall? Like, can you imagine if the Minecraft movie bombs, dude? Like, I think isn't it it's one of the best. Is it the best selling video game of all time, or is it one of the best? Anyone know? I think it's like top 5.
It's got to be top 5.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
I'm curious. I'm waiting for the Overwatch movie, dude. When's that going to come out? Is that going to show up when
Blizzard will never give their fans what they actually want, which is a Blizzard made film.
Is Blizzard gonna let dude, please, can we get a Diablo animated film? Like, holy shit, just get the team that made that. Like, I don't want to hear shit else, dude.
Freaking everything that Blizzard does cutscene wise is absolutely
it's
tremendous,
incredible.
Tremendous. And then it's like, all right, dude, here's Overwatch. You guys want Overwatch 2? You guys want PvE?
You mean 1.5?
Well, I mean, even with the Overwatch stuff, I mean, all of their little like 5-10 minute short film things were fantastic, but none of them could like made.
What'd you say, JB?
I love
your mic.
Oh, sorry.
You hit something on your mic.
I'm sorry.
You hit the lantern.
I hit my lantern. I was gonna say I like Kiriko's. Hers was really good.
Yeah, it was dope.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
No, like they have it's like, I don't know what it is with Blizzard, dude. They make really cool shit. Even Rainbow Six Siege, like a lot of their intro stuff, like their in between season videos are fantastic.
Have you seen the most recent crossover? They're doing The Boys.
Oh.
It's like a I'm assuming it's like a terrorist mode where you're Homelander and another dude, and you have to like kill all the baddies.
But that doesn't make any sense because Homelander can't be killed in that universe. You know what, man? Rainbow Six has gone free to play, everybody. Rainbow Six Siege X. It's now free to play, except if you want to play ranked, you have to own the game. I think, yeah, you have to get to level 50 something. I don't remember, dude. I'm not playing Siege again. Brad was once like a semi-pro player, or attempted to be. Did you not know that, Chibi? When I tell you that Brad is probably the best gamer here, when like first person.
No, I 100% believe that.
100%. The dude is like, it's very frustrating to play.
I try.
Almost semi-pro.
I don't know.
I mean-
Like, I'm gonna talk a little shit right here. Hold on, Brad. I'm gonna praise you a little bit. I'm gonna talk a little shit. But Chris and Brad play some 2v2 in Black
Mhm.
Ops 6, right? And Brad carries. Brad is really fucking good, and it is like
Mhm.
insane. Like, I love watching it because Chris is like super enthusiastic, yeah, and then he's like, I'm not doing well. Brad's like, hold on,
Aw.
let me clutch.
Yeah, let me sit up in my seat.
Hey,
I'm like,
well,
oh my god.
Yeah, so I'm much more like a strategist more than
Mhm.
like a run and gunner type of person. That's
Mhm.
why I love Siege so much. But it's
That's
because
true.
I can outsmart people all day, but they'll outshoot me 9 times out of 10. So it's like, once again, 2v2s, stuff like that. It's just, I'm going to say,
Just don't peek stairs, bro. Like,
always
just
let
don't-
them come to you.
Exactly. Don't peek stairs. But no, like I'm watching him play. What's the mode actually called, dude? It's
Gunfight.
Gunfight. I'm watching Gunfight, and like I always make Brad and Chris stream it so I can watch them play it, just so I can watch Brad like nuke people casually. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then I'll like cut to Chris's screen. He's like, I'm doing okay. I'm like, Chris, you don't have a kill yet, brother.
Aw,
Brad has
let him
9 kills. He is murdering people.
Let him cook.
This dude is insane. Like I remember like the only multiplayer game that I'm decent at or like shooter was Rogue Company, and I would have like
Yeah.
30. I'd have like 35 kills, and here's Brad with like 40. I'm like, bro, chill. All right, like
You're
let
like,
me
why you
get-
gotta top me?
I
Same
did
thing with, like,
enjoy that one.
The only game I've ever like Chris. So a little background on Chris. He used to be like a semi-pro Halo player,
Oh shit. Okay.
and he was a fucking god at that game. So one day Halo 4 comes out, and I tell Chris like, hey man, let's hop on this game. We were back in the Navy. And I was like, hey man, hop on. We ended up playing. My first match, I went 28-3. Right. So when I got Chris on, I was like, I'm feeling myself. It's gonna be great. I'm back in Halo. So I go like 29-6. Chris goes 42-0. I was like, dude, you haven't. He's like, my skills are rusty. I'm like, no, you're not, bro. You're like,
You haven't fucking
sniping.
died.
Like, what is going on? We used to play like
Yeah.
Fortnite and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I had clips everywhere of like us, Chris like clutching up for the team. We had a thing where he was drunk as shit, and he was like, I was like, Chris, you need a plan. He's like, I am the plan, and then proceeded to clutch like a 3v1.
LOL.
I was like, you need to relax, dude.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's just fun now watching. Like he's straight up like, I just play single player games now, dude. That's what I've given up on it
Multiple times.
But then watching like Brad play multiplayer games is like fun. But like he ruins our MMR. Am I right, Jack? Like he ruins our MMR. Like me and Jack will play a game, we'll do pretty well. Like, hey, and then like Brad shows up and like, who are these people?
What is this Elo?
How come this guy's 360 no scoping me? Like, what's happening?
See, that's when you just get me, and then we'll balance it out. Like, you have really good.
We played Black Ops 6. I think me and Jack waited for Brad to get. It was like me, Jack, and Chris. We were doing really, really well multiplayer. Remember when it first started, Jack?
Yeah.
And then Brad jumped on, and we're like, "What is this lobby, dude?"
Yeah,
like
we're getting sweated.
Brad's like, "Man, they're trying really hard." I'm like, "No shit, because you showed up." Dude.
I'm learning so much lore.
What's going on? No, it's frustrating. And then like you'll play Rocket League with Brad, and he doesn't even know how to, like, he's like, "What is this button?" I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?"
I feel that.
I don't have that kind of coordination.
You can flip here. I was like, "Oh my god, just move out of the way."
How do
dude.
I turn?
I'm used to Gran Turismo, okay? I don't get the...
That's also a funny thing. We have a buddy, Will. So Will is a god at Crash Team Racing. So I thought he was joking, right? I thought he was joking. Crash Team Racing is very hard. It's like the hardest form of like kart racing. And so I said, hey, you get in this game? He's like, yeah, I'll get it too. Because he said, like, I used to play this all the time. I thought he was lying. He fucked me up. Like, this dude, we're online. He is new. I'm like, dude, we're playing like international lobbies. He's like winning. I'm like, what is going on, dude? Like, where's this coming from? You can't play any video game competently. And I mean that. He cannot play. He's not that good at Rocket League.
Yeah.
He's like dying a shit ton in Siege. We have gone matches where like he'll go like 0-12 or something. Get him on a card game. Like, he is a god. Like, what is happening? Like, how is this possible?
I'm bad at fighting games, though. That is not my cup of tea.
I'm good at fighting games.
I'm trash.
I'm a button masher.
Like, there have been some where it's like, all right, I can up the difficulty on the NPC or on like the versus the computer. I can do like hard, but against another actual human, it's like I don't. This is a different realm. I don't understand.
I just don't like the fact that people will grind the fuck out of games when they first come out.
Oh,
But, like
Jacques.
if I'm trying to relearn mechanics like Guilty Gear Strive, like I played the beta, I got to like level 7, which is like just kind of that's like a decent player at the time. And then I got the game and I got to like level 9, which is just one above one near Celestial, which is like the highest. And then I'd go into lobbies and there are dudes who have like bounties on them of like 300 million or something, like pro players. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing in this like low level area? Like, why are you here in this casual lobby? Go grind at the top. I would play like 6 like rounds with these people. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Is this even your main? I actually messaged the guys, is this your main? He's like, nah, dude, this is my backups. I'm like, okay, psycho, like relax.
Yeah, we're like, get out of here.
But no, yeah, I just want to drop that lure on Brad a little bit because I love. Jack, what are you good at? Give me the game, Jack.
Oh,
Give me the game you were you played.
that
Give
I
me the
was the
game right
best
now.
at?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think. You were decent at Rock. I remember you were better at me at Rocket League at one point in time, and then I just kept playing. I got so mad,
Role
dude.
play. He's really good at role playing.
Yeah.
Yes, I can act.
I'm a thespian.
In the heart.
Play like a single player game. I'm really good at these. Love them. All right. Anyone got anything else to talk about? What are we doing next? What's the anime up next?
Windbreaker.
Yeah.
Windbreaker, yeah.
Also,
Yeah. What's up?
Studio Ghibli is doing a 4K remaster of Princess Mononoke in IMAX.
Jesus,
and
what?
It's going to be in Pensacola next week. I'm super excited. I don't
Nice.
know like
Damn,
what
I'll
the
pull up.
schedule is.
Has anyone seen Princess Mononoke?
Have not.
I
Like-
did a
like-
long time ago and it made
I
me
was
really
having-
sad, so I stopped.
Like
Princess Mo-
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke is fantastic. I think it's
So
probably one of
brutal.
the more popular films, even though
Mhm.
like I think it was like the 4th or 5th movie Ghibli made, but I think it was the one that propelled them into the mainstream until Spirited Away came out. And Spirited Away is probably
Is
the
number
best
1.
film.
Yeah. That's my
Next
favorite.
to
Howl's Moving
think-
Castle.
I like Howl's Moving Castle. No, it's the it's like The Wind Rises. I can't remember the damn movie. But it's really funny when people talk about Studio Ghibli. I'm like, you guys know that it's like almost everything's like anti-war.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's how
yeah.
Totoro is.
Yeah, everything is like anti-war, like straight up. Like he's like an environmentalist. That's what like Princess Mononoke pushes on. Howl's Moving Castle is also anti-war. Like there's a lot of anti-conflict stuff. Even this most recent film, The Boy and the Heron. Have you seen that, Chibi? You're also muted, Chibi.
Fuck. Because I love Robert Pattinson, bro.
Yeah. So like, has anyone seen The Boy and the Heron? It's on Max right now.
I have
on,
not.
HBO. That is a phenomenal film.
Is it?
Like
I need to see it.
tremendous movie. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do next for Pixelate Thoughts. I don't know if we want to watch a movie. I want Brad to come up with a topic. Brad, what do you got next? You know what we should talk about? We should talk about Monster Hunter
Mom.
Wilds
Yeah, true.
We can do that.
next. Talk about what's up.
I'm almost level 80.
I just want to say shout out to Jack for actually being committed to the game. Just honestly, I'm blown away. He can't power clash worth of shit because
You know what?
me
I
and
got
Brad
one.
me and
once.
Brad were dual power clashing monsters, which was amazing. Sword and shield and the fucking gun lance. That was awesome. We did that multiple times. Like, Jack, get in on this. He's like, I don't know how. I was like, too bad, nerd.
Damn. I know Jack Curtis was telling me that he played with you a couple times. I was like,
No,
let's go.
dude, Jack's like really into it, which is
Yeah, I
shocking.
was definitely into it.
TFTI, guys.
What are you talking about? We saw that you have like 20 hours into it. Don't lie to us.
Yeah, and you didn't invite me. I'm just saying.
I will like Jack will carry you. Jack will carry you to the promised land.
Oh.
We'll get you past Nata, you know, like the little shit.
Oh, man.
I hunt Arkfeld because I want Nata to cry.
Damn.
That's why I do it. So I think our next goal, Brad Chibi, is to make him play Rise again. And
Oh
get
my
him.
god.
Because for those who don't know, this is the last thing we'll talk about. When Jack played Monster Hunter Rise, I think I recommended it to him. I said, hey man, this is out now on Game Pass. Check it out. And this man spent 40 minutes learning how to mount a monster. And I went, you know what? I think it's time to move on.
Oh my god.
I was so concerned he wouldn't like Wilds. And I gifted it to him because I was like, this, it's grounded. Me and Brad played the beta. Brad really liked the beta, which was dope. I think you're going to really like this because there's not much wiggle to it. Like, it's just like really good defensive moves, a lot of good counters. And yeah. Like at one point I was like, why is Jack on Wild and I'm not? And then he's like messaging me, you getting on? Let's do chill, all right? Like I have a family, dude. All right.
I have kids.
But Chibi, if you want to play Wilds, we can do it on like one of your streams, all four of us.
Okay.
And then we can just like jump into your hunts, even though I wish Capcom, just saying this out loud because it probably won't happen. Why don't you fix the multiplayer? Like, why the fuck is it so complicated? I have to write a thesis about this. Like, what is this shit, dude?
Menus.
Menu. The real monster in Monster Hunter Wilds is the menus.
That's the.
But I just want to say, for anybody who is thinking that the game is easy, just know that the developers heard that feedback for Monster Hunter World 2. And then they introduced Iceborne. And for those who do not know, when Iceborne first came out, that game, or the actual expansion, was criticized heavily because it was really, really hard. And we got like 4 of the toughest monsters in the Monster Hunter universe. And so people were really frustrated. Apparently, like, the plan is to release a monster every few months with like a surprise monster. So upcoming in April is going to be Mitsuzune, which is this really cool looking dragon, very elegant looking, right? And apparently a secret monster. And that secret monster could be Basilgeist, which is like, we call him the B2 bomber. Or it could be like Rajang, who is this really angry fucking monkey who will one-shot you with his attacks.
Not the fart monkey.
Not the fart monkey.
Oh, the fart monkey was gross.
Yeah.
But I think
I
we'll
did
talk
like the
about,
armor though.
But I think we'll talk about Monster Hunter after for like an episode, because I think we have enough time. And if Chibi is down to like stream and play it, I think we'll do that too.
I'll get roasted.
So next up on Down the Rabbit Hole.
I was just gonna say I'll play Hunting Horn just to keep everyone safe,
Thank you.
just to make sure.
Brad, have you seen me play this game? I don't need you. I have
shit.
soloed every monster in this game and the temporary ones, dude. Chill.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, next on Down the Rabbit Hole, it's going to be Windbreakers. I'm actually looking forward to that. I've only watched the first 4 episodes, so I'm actually...
I got to rewatch it.
Damn. And then
I've been watching something else.
Oh, are we caught up on Soul Level? Soul Leveling?
I am.
Isn't
I think
it
I'm behind one episode.
Good.
It's getting good.
No, I ended up finishing Orb on the Movements of the Earth because it finally wrapped up, and it was like, that's tremendous. So good. But that is going to do it for this Pixelated Thoughts episode. Jack, this is your episode. This is your suggestion. Why don't you do the outro?
All right. Thanks for joining the episode. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. And until next time, you guys take care.
Bye, everybody.
Noodles.